Hello and welcome to the Nomiki Show. I'm Nomiki Konst. We are 26 days away from the last day of voting, aka Election Day. And this country is in crisis, right? The president and the Republican Party are flailing in office and also on their campaign. But are Biden and Harris actually stepping up to this moment? That's what I'm wondering today. You could feel Harris struggling last night. How all her training has left her unprepared for the scale of what is needed right now. She is from that generation of Democratic politicians raised on packaging and sound bites and triangulation. Candidates who make progressive sounding statements while the corporate cash pours in. Pence may be an aged out neo-Nazi Ken doll, but he is no dope. The debate may have been more civil last night than last week's and had more substance, but for a Democratic campaign that is pounding the Trump-Pence ticket in the polls. I couldn't actually tell because it was just about style. That's the difference. For that campaign, the Democratic campaign right now that is literally annihilating the Trump-Pence ticket in every poll, every swing state poll, every national poll, I really didn't get that feeling last night. For instance, Pence baited Harris into a competition for who was less environmentally friendly. Her statements barely even made sense. We have an existential climate crisis, but no, Mr. Pence, Joe Biden and I are not against fracking. And let me say that several more times and then brand it into a viral tweet. Are we selling those bumper stickers yet and the t-shirts yet? Give me a break, come on. Forget shopping list politics. Stop worrying about offending donors. Think big, not small. This country is in crisis. There are only two issues in this campaign right now. Only two issues that will swing voters in the middle. Only two issues that will mobilize voters on the left. Only two issues that will bring disgusted Republicans across the divide. Those two issues are the pandemic and the economy. And every single time the flailing Republicans try a new line of attack, throw stuff against the wall, Democrats everywhere should stay focused, in control, and remind the country that they're going to be the party that feels the country's pain. Remind the country that they understand that we the people, what we the people are facing, and that this administration exacerbated and caused it. This is not to say that climate and equity and justice are not important. Of course they are. Just that right now, the two subjects that will drive this vote in the next 26 days are the pandemic and the economy. And they're intersectional, of course, with all these other issues. Who is going to stop this Great Depression and this great pandemic? Trump gives every sign of not knowing what to do. So he is doing things that don't make much sense, even in his own self-interest. What narcissistic impulse caused him to pull the plug on a stimulus deal, which his own Federal Reserve chair says is needed right now? His refusal to debate from separate locations is particularly baffling. Saying it's a waste of time? After all, he is the one who needs the debate to make a last-ditch try at changing the direction of this election, which is not going in his favor. His first attempt obviously blew up on him. But why wouldn't he want to take a second chance to throw Biden off? Frankly, Pence actually did a better job than his boss last night at unbalancing his debating partner, which was Trump's goal, remember? Harris, she opened well, making it crystal clear that Trump and Pence had presided over the biggest governmental failure in history, the pandemic. But then repeatedly, Vice President Pence baited Kamala Harris into unproductive arguments like fracking. Oh, I wish they were against fracking. I wish she was as left as Pence tried to paint her. I wish she supported our Green New Deal, not their other green sort of political deal. Anyways, none of that is actually today's challenge. Today's challenge is getting Trump out of the White House before he does something even worse than what he's already done, and electing sane people who will stop the pandemic and fix the economy with our help, which they need. Then we can fight about which new Green Deal to enact. We can fight about whether it's possible to support fracking and rejoin the Paris Climate Accord and do more to combat climate. As Harris said, a Biden administration would probably do. This is a radical moment. But Biden and Harris, as we know, are not radical leaders. They are small and transactional. When we need a big and non-negotiable positions on curbing the pandemic and fixing the economy. Even when they try to sympathize or discuss the economic crisis, it's a couple of canned lines. This is a seismic moment. And I fear that the Biden-Harris campaign are throwing out opportunities to exhibit their recognition of this great crisis. Harris should have used her podium last night to discuss several stories of specific people who have lost businesses, are living in their cars, are taking their children to McDonald's to get Wi-Fi so they can do their homework, who have had loved ones who've died of COVID, who've lost their jobs while suffering COVID. But she got swept away by the politics, by the show. I worry that both sides will now default to the tool each party trusts best: television commercials for the Democrats and voter suppression for the Republicans. Biden and Harris, even with those polls right now, they need to go big, or the fear is folks will stay home. Thanks for watching and listening to The Nomiki Show. But remember to click like and subscribe on YouTube, and please share on social media. If you're not already a patron, please join us for as low as $5 a month on patreon.com/The Nomiki Show for early and special content. That investment makes a huge difference. We are not corporate media raking in the dough. It's really you guys that are keeping us going. So please consider being a patron. And to our current patrons, thank you so much. We are incredibly grateful to you. We also now have swag. So check us out on thenomikishow.com to get your mugs, your totes, and your stickers.